there's so many people who are like super similar, especially in this school. I feel like a lot of people can relate to like the workload and the challenge of family and the challenge of balancing family, friends, school, and all that, and the adversity you might face. I feel like RH King in general is a very welcoming community just because everyone kind of relates in the same way, that everyone's feeling like they may not seem like it, but everyone's going through the same thing.
Having community goes beyond just students knowing their small circle of friends. By having multiple engagements, knowing students through teams, through councils, through clubs, there's much more kind of cross-breeding. Students know more people, care about other people, and then it improves the environment for the entire school.
I became a school-based safety monitor because I have a great passion working with the youth. And I believe the youth is the future of this country. And my job is to make sure keep them safe, keep a safe and working environment in order for them to be successful and focus on their studies and assist if there's a need. I'm always ready to assist the students, especially here in RH King. Okay, I love the atmosphere in RH King. Number one, the students are focused in their studies. Number two, they are successful. And there's one thing I can tell about this school is my three sons graduated here, and that is a living proof of testimony that this school is really has a good reputation for the success of the students. And yeah, my three sons are one of them. So you're lucky to be in this school. So I wish you all the good luck. The advice I can give to the students here in RH King is I know they encounter challenges in their life, challenges here in the school and outside the school. My advice to them is stay focused, stay motivated, and to be successful, of course, you gotta stay strong.
My friend's positivity helped change my mood from depressed and, almost crossing the border of depressed to better by telling me that the day will get better. One day in grade 9, I was just, being attacked by high school and realization that I'm in high school and how it's so sad and whatever, and I'm not doing that well. I'm trying my best and I'm not getting 90s. And I was like, okay. Then I just sat in class angry, just staring at everyone with an angry face, with a grumpy look, and I was like, oh, I hate this world, yada yada. And my friend came up to me and said, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, I'm just mad and sad that, life's not going the way I expected it to in high school. And my friend was like, well, how about you wait for the rest of the day and maybe it'll get better. And I was like, okay, sure, that sounds like wise words, and I did. And then instead of expecting anything from the day, like me being understanding, smart, answering all the questions, being the teacher's pet, instead I just waited. And then I didn't expect anything from the day, and it got better, and I started to feel better as each class went on. And then I realized that there's no need for me to have preconceptions of how the day is going to be, even though I still struggle on it. What I've accepted since I came to King is the fact that I'm overly sensitive about every single thing being said to me at all times. I accept as being sensitive by trying my best to listen to other people. And, use that again for my own advantage. Instead of getting hurt by what they say, I'll listen to what they have to say, and I'll try to not do that thing again. For example, if I say something offensive, and I don't understand why, and I get offended and start bawling my eyes out, I'll think about, oh, I wonder why they said that to me, and I'll ask them why they said that. And then they'll probably say something like, oh, you were being insensitive, you didn't know this is a real serious topic, you're not funny, and I'm like, oh, okay, that hurt my feelings, but okay, I'll understand, and next time I won't do it again. Somewhere else is a beautiful place.
How do I manage to do all this stuff outside of school and inside? I did find the balance because as much as I love being in like a whole bunch of councils and stuff, like I had to cut some of it out because it got too much, and I was like, I came home and I did my homework and I was like so exhausted that at certain points I would just come home and I would just sleep until 12 because I just had so many things to do. So yeah, I think I found the balance now for like things that I didn't like particularly enjoy. I just stopped doing them. And I just kept the stuff that I really, really liked. So what motivated me to stay in all of these like councils, the ones that I'm in right now, is just that when you're in a council for a long time, you become like for example in improv, right? A lot of the team was like a lot of grade 12s last year, and so when they all left, the team was really small, and so we only had like 3 grade 11s, 2 or 3 grade 11s, and so if I had left the team, it would have been a big it would have hit the team really hard, and we needed new members, and I didn't want to leave the team. Like sometimes I go and then I'm not as enthusiastic. Like there are certain points in time where I didn't like being in improv as much as I like being in it now, because we all loved the grade 12s and we felt it wasn't the same without them, and then a lot of us got unmotivated to do it. So like I stayed for the other members. Like I wanted them to be on the team too. I wanted new people to come, and it's just like you want to I really love the team, so like I didn't want to see it end just because I didn't like to be in it, and so many other people enjoyed it too. So yeah, that's probably why. So when I was in grade 9, there was a lot of members on the team. There was like 16 members, and there were like some 5th years. There was a lot of grade 12s and grade 11s and stuff, and I got on the team, but it didn't process for me that they put me on the team because they liked me, right? There's a couple of times, believe it or not, I started crying in improv because I felt so we were doing a scene and it just wasn't working out. I didn't know what to do, and I just sort of started crying on the spot because I'm like, oh, I messed, because we stopped the scene and he's like, can you try it again? And then I just started crying because I was so in my head about it. I was like, oh, I messed the scene up, why am I even on the team? And then but then everybody started being really reassuring. They were like, oh no, don't even worry, it's not even that big of a deal and stuff like that. It's kind of generic, but everybody on the team had things they were good at. Nobody was just a funny person. They were funny in different aspects and stuff. And then it was really good because all the senior members were really supportive. Every time I would do a scene, they'd be like, oh, good job, that was really good. And it really helped me, when I watched the other members and when I listened to them, it really helped me realize that yeah, I'm on the team because they wanted me here, and I'm not good at certain things, but I'm good at other things, and that's okay. I was considering dropping the team because I was like, oh, I'm not good, but I guess that's what kept me motivated, the senior members. Yeah.
It was just kind of a natural thing when I got into high school. By that time I was very interested in military history, history in general, but particularly military history. And I'd been a cadet before that. I was in the Sea Cadets for 5 years before I was old enough to join the Army. And so as soon as I turned 17, I then joined the Army. So the base we were on was often getting rocketed, and this is sometimes happening more than daily. And so patrols would go out to determine where the rockets were being fired from, to go after the Taliban. It was pretty obvious that the Taliban had a grip on that village, that they at least intimidated them. They would leave night letters for them, making threats and all sorts of other things. But we knew that's where the rockets had been fired from, that precise location, because of our radar tracking. So anyways, I was going with this British patrol into the village. We were checking things out. I was meeting with some of their elders. We checked out the schools. And then we bumped into an American patrol while we were there. The American patrol, they weren't aware that we were going to be there. We weren't aware that they were going to be there. And that was all good. But then I ended up talking to a number of the elders in the village as we went through it. And the British, my British colleagues, it was my first time going out with them. I guess they thought I was going back with the Americans. So they pulled out, and next thing you know, I'm engaged in this discussion with the main tribal elder, and the American chiefs had pulled out too. They thought I was with the Brits. So there I was, myself, in the middle of this village where they'd been firing rockets at our base 12 hours earlier. So yeah, I'll tell you, that's at that very moment when I realized I was the only one in the middle of this place. I had never felt so far away from home. And they could tell something's wrong. It's not normal for, you know, a NATO soldier to be there on his own. And they're pointing the way that the Brits had gone. So my fear was that the British, again, they weren't used to me being with them for their patrols. And so that they were going to bugger off back to base. And that I'd end up having to walk my way back to the base through some pretty hostile terrain. Not so much the terrain, but the potential threat. Luckily, as I'm running, then I come around a couple of other turns, and I guess my British colleagues had realized there I was, that they had forgotten me, and they had taken a knee. We could laugh about it afterwards, but yeah, it was a little tense right at that moment. So your question was, have I ever felt overwhelmed with the military as an extra job and wanting to give it up? There's a lot of times where it gets stressful. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You've committed to that, you stick it out, you just have to tough it out, and that's with a lot of life. So managing school and the military and family and all of that, it's tough. But there's a lot of occupations where people are very busy. In fact, probably most, I would say, and you make choices and you try find balance, the best way that you can. But I love both jobs, and I love my family, so you just have to find the time. You try to manage the best you can and balance things, and sometimes it's quite challenging. But again, I love both of my careers, and I wouldn't want to give either one of them up.
The grind never stops.
What?
I definitely think that there are like certain things that I do the same on and off the court. The main thing probably is cooperation and also just like encouraging other people. So whether it be like I'm playing basketball or curling or anything like that, I find that if I see someone who is like struggling or needs help or like words of encouragement, I'm like definitely always there to like support people and stuff. So I think that aspect of the way that I play sports translate into how I live my life. Whether that be like in group projects or things like that, I find that I tend to like take leadership positions and stuff, and I don't know, I guess try to make sure that everyone like on my team is doing well and is like in a good place. Definitely tend to think more about what I hope to accomplish on a day-to-day basis. I'm always thinking about the future. I don't know, that might be a bad thing just because a lot of the time I catch myself thinking more about the future than living in the moment, but yeah, I don't know, I feel like I try to think more about like my future accomplishments and things that I hope to achieve rather than things I've already achieved, because it's just in the past, and to me there's like, I don't know, there's no use in really focusing on the things that you've achieved. So for example, like I hope to like next year go to university, so I'm really like at this point in the year, I've been like really focusing on that and like those like accomplishments that I want to achieve academically. I think the best advice for trying to stay focused on the important things in life rather than like all of the distractions that can get in the way is really thinking about like the end goal and I guess what you really want to achieve. Because if you want something bad enough, then all of those other distractions and like all of that noise kind of is like insignificant compared to I guess the end goal or like what you're hoping to accomplish. When you're like feeling down and stuff like that, to definitely like appreciate yourself and realize all the accomplishments that you have achieved. So sometimes I guess I do like look back on those like good memories and stuff like that. But I think to fully grow and I guess as a person, I tend to look more at. I think that the driving force in my life that makes me get better every day is my parents. They're not really that strict or anything like that, but there's just something in the back of my mind that always wants to like make them proud and I guess strive for greatness like in my life so that I can like make them proud and I don't know, I guess like achieve things in my life so that when I'm older I can like thank them, I guess, and like give them that like life that they deserve. So yeah, I find that whenever I'm like doing assignments or tests or like just things in school or in my life, I don't know, I think that that's like the driving force that makes me like want to do things and be better.
My name is Om Patel. I'm the grade 9 student council rep. I'm in the leadership program yet. Motivation in my own words is something that keeps me going every day. If I don't have motivation to do something, I won't be able to carry out that task and I won't be able to do it to the best of my ability. My main goal that I set before coming into high school was to mainly prioritize my academics first. Although that is my priority right now, I also realize that social life is also very important. You must like develop really good relationships with people you trust and people you can like open up to. Another club I'm planning to join. Actually, I don't have a like planned club I want to join. But I'm thinking, like alongside with student council, I want to do something a bit more low key. So it's like I have a chance to like speak out, like I have a chance to express myself, and then I also have like a little bit of. The thing that motivates me to get up every morning is definitely school, because school is something that sets you up for the future. If I don't pay attention to my classes, or if I don't like do what I was like taught, then my future is not going to be so great.
I grew up in a family where education is very important, So from the beginning it was, clear that education is a key for success. It was, I was growing up in India and there were professions, either you go to the medicine or you can go to the engineering or you can go to the teaching or lawyer and all those kind of things. So pressure was there actually, but my internal desire, to teach or to make the difference in someone's life. I mean, I noticed from the beginning, and I think from high school I was determined that I want to become a teacher. I think this you should ask the students what they remember about me actually, because when kids comes who are in universities or they are doing the jobs and all that, so when they come, sometimes they say, oh, teachers in RH King prepare themselves, very well to survive in universities, to survive in, job places and all that. So students, mostly like the teachers, they should remember us that teacher, they had knowledge of the content, which is most important. But other than that, that teachers were caring, they care about them, they listen to them when they really wanted to talk about some of the things which are not related to academic or anything, but maybe what's happening in their life. So we care, we listen to them, and they always think that they have a support. And to create the environment so they feel that it's a sense of belonging, that this class is for everyone. So if we create that atmosphere and all that, and we are helping kids who are struggling, and so I really want them to take that kind of thing from me. And if you work hard, you will always be successful. There is no shortcut, and I really want them to see me that I'm coming from different countries. I came here when I was middle-aged, female teacher and all that, and I achieved what was my goal. So if I can do, they can also do. Okay, so just work hard, be focused, and determination, and stay focused and be motivated. Whatever your motivation is, and teachers are there to help them. So take help from the teachers, and that's all I really want them to take from me. Yeah.
Definitely. I think this is even more than money that motivates me, is my past. Knowing where I come from. I'm the second generation of women in my family to learn how to read. My grandmother doesn't know how to read. And my parents leaving Sudan and coming to Canada and leaving everything behind at such a young age. My mom didn't even know how to speak English. She came to somewhere that was so foreign to her. Knowing that they left all that so they could come here so I could have a better life. That motivates me itself. I want to be something because I have so much privilege. I go to an amazing school. I have such amazing resources around me every single day. Why not use that to become something? I want my parents to look back and be like, we did that. That's the reason she's like this, because we did that. I don't want them to have to say, oh, we left everything we know to come to something like this for Nadine to be nothing. And because I'm a black woman, because everything, I don't want to be another statistic. I want to be something. I want to make something out of myself. I want people to look at me and be like, oh, she did that. She did something with her life. She's just not like any other girl. So yeah. What drives you? It's a very good question. Not what motivates people, what drives me. Again, I think what drives me is the legacy, trying to leave something behind, trying to make something out of your life, because you have literally one life. So make something out of it. That's what drives me. Every day, are you gonna be a failure? Are you gonna be successful? Are you gonna be lazy? Or are you gonna do something? I don't think time should be wasted. That's the biggest thing. If I just waste one day, that could have been a day where I created something. That could have been a day where I said something to help someone else out. So again, the legacy, trying to make something out of myself.
I think making an impact on people, and sometimes it's the little things that come back, where people, if they're a graduate in some cases, they come back and they say that you've influenced me to do this. I think that's, you see success. You're not looking for it, you're not planning it that way, but when you see people that you've touched and you've made a difference. We all have days. I don't know if it's not motivated, but there are challenges that come your way. Each student is different. There may be motivators that, peer influence. I had a number of role models, yes, that influenced my career in regards to moving into education. When I first started, I didn't think that I would be going into education, but one of the teachers that I had in grade 7, Miss Cruz, was in the music and the arts area. And one of the things that she did was to introduce students to the arts, and in particular taking us to Cobourg, to the festivals there, and looking at people that were in orchestras and playing instruments that we would never have an opportunity to see on our own. Live in a world where things come at us, and have we made a good decision? Have we made the right decision? And when we're in a school, as a principal, we want to make sure that we are making a difference. When we feel that, whether it's the staff or students, or things that you're putting into place, or you're trying to make a positive influence in your view, and where that's not being taken as positive or maybe as a change that is wanted, that's where I think you have to start to reflect on what your agenda is or what your mission is.
I think a lot of the time, a lot of high school students tend to exist within this bubble of high school, and I think King did a really good job of trying to like take down that bubble, and like it gives you a lot of exposure to like outside of school opportunities and like the guest speakers. It made that transition to university a lot easier. I definitely think King did that for me.
I guess I could say my academic success came from like building those strong relationships with teachers, and and yeah, you could say that's being a teacher's pet, but I think that just made my like school life so much more fun, and it kept me interested in things. I know students who weren't fans of the staff, or just didn't have the relationships I did with teachers, that just kind of hated school, and I think it was because of that.
A lot of the time I hear that kids are like overstressed and like they're working really hard, but it takes a toll on mental health, and the way that I dealt with that was just only taking courses that I was passionate about. So I was taking history and English and video, and all those courses just made me happy, and so it didn't feel like work to me. It just felt like I was doing something fun that I loved.
After King, I went to a university, and I realized that wasn't my place, so I'm switching to a different program at a different university. And I guess what motivated me to do that was just like that I have time, I have to make these choices, and I have people supporting me, like including the teachers at King and my own parents, just stuff like that, I guess.
And just another note on like building relationships with teachers, I think we're like one of the few students that graduated that are lucky enough to be able to come back and like update our teachers and like tell them what's going on in our lives. And I think that's really great to have the support system that even though we've graduated King, I don't think we'll ever be able to leave. Yeah. But yeah, that's something that I really truly love about the staff here at King, that even if you leave, you're not truly gone. So yeah. Like when you're here, just like enjoy the time you have, and like try not to stress too much about marks and stuff, because yeah, they're important, but ultimately like you come out of high school with a lot more than just your marks. Like the relationships you build with teachers, with other students, with your peers, like those are really also very important, and focus on that, and as well as just kind of enjoying the present moment instead of just freaking out so much about what you're going to do in university, because ultimately it comes down to like you're doing everything you can to ensure a good future, but not at the expense of having a good time in high school.
I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah.
With my
high school is great.
Okay. So first question.
I'm tethered.
To the arts the most, probably just because I think it's just really fun.
I want to do things that other people expect me to do. I want to do things that I want to do, and
what motivates me to gain success in school is my parents, because they want me to get those high marks in school.
Experience, I've learned to communicate more. I've also learned that it's not as what they say it is in the movies. So that's I was really shocked when I first came into RHK.
Oh, we're having that shot. What motivates you to come to school?
People are always asking for comfort. They actually give them comfort, they say it, but sometimes a true friend would actually show comfort. You get what I mean, right? So if your friend's crying and then your friend's saying, oh, it's okay, then that's not really a friend. You get what I mean, right? Yeah. So if a friend would actually truly care about the person crying, then they would actually comfort them and say, oh, what's wrong, and ask about their situation.